how important is religion, right, Sikhism, to the Sikh community and especially the role of the temple?
We all respect all our religions, and obviously Sikhism is a unique religion that made its appearance when our first founder Guru Nanak was born in the 15th century, around 1469, I think. I'm a bit unsure of the date now. And then that was the period of a bit of turmoil and beliefs in all this superstitious stuff, idol worship, caste system, uh, treatment of women, and so on. So Guru Nanak came up with these very simple principles that we are all humanity. We believe everybody got a right to be what you want to be, and God exists in you. There is no such thing as so many gods. There's only one God. And you'll be surprised that every day when we pray, our final prayer in the evening before we go to bed, our final prayer ends with the words, blessing for all, not just for ourselves, the whole of mankind. We ask God to bless everybody. And we believe, we do not believe in proselytization. We do not say, we said, if you're a Muslim, be a good Muslim. If you're a Hindu, be a good Hindu. You're a Sikh, be a good Sikh. And we are all basically part of universal community. So Guru Nanak started off with those teachings, and he traveled all over. You'll be very, very surprised. He traveled the whole of India. He went on his so-called, what we call, Odesis, or religious journeys all over India at different time frames. I mean, I don't go into too much details. To the whole of Northeast, up near the Chinese border. Some said he also sort of went across, and there are some accounts, I do not know. This side to Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, and up to the Middle East, all the way up to Mecca. And when I was in the army, and I was given a chance to lead a small team of SAF officers on the UNICOM mission, in a peacekeeping mission at the Kuwaiti-Iraq border. I had a chance to visit a place where Guru Nanak had visited in Iraq. There was a Sikh temple even in Iraq. So he visited, Iraq. From there, obviously, he moved to Saudi, which was nearby. So he went to a lot of places preaching universality, peace, respect for everybody, gender equality, and so on, and trying to get rid of basically superstitious beliefs and so on. After Guru Nanak, we had a number of gurus. Our last guru was Guru Gobind Singh, after which he said that our Guru Granth Sahib, we treat our holy book, if I may call it, as our living guru. We treat him with all the honor of living guru, early morning, bringing the Guru Granth Sahib out, installing it in the temple for anybody to worship, and in the evening at night, we, through a proper ceremony, bring the Guru Granth Sahib to what we call the Sachkhand room, where he rests for the night, and so on. It's a practice done in all our Gurdwaras. And the Sikhs, if you read about them in any of the books, we went through a lot of challenges, because that was the time, if you know, the Mughals and the Afghans and so on, they were in charge in India. Not all the rulers were bad, but among them, there were a few who were all out to convert the Hindus into Islam, and they had their own objectives, obviously. And that was the time where Sikhs had to fight for themselves, and through those challenging times. Our gurus got martyred. Our fifth guru, very, very important, because he sort of compiled the scriptures until then. He was involved in the construction of the Golden Temple. He was martyred in Lahore for standing up against the Muslim rulers. Then we had our Guru Gobind Singh, he paid a very, very heavy price. He, his whole family basically died fighting for the cause. His four sons, two died fighting in battle, in the famous Battle of Chamkor, where the father personally sent the sons out to battle and told them, I don't want to see wounds on your back. That means you fight. And younger two sons martyred, entombed in basically a wall while alive. So we got all this story. His mother paid a very, very heavy price too. So to us, religion is important. The scriptures as left behind by the gurus are important. They are all in our holy book. And we have even some verses from famous Muslim saints, a particular Saint Kabir was very, very famous. Certain verses, his sayings are also there. And a lot of prominent Hindu saints, wise men, their sayings are also there. So it's a compilation of everything. And that's our Guru Granth Sahib. So that's how Sikhism in the turmoil of that particular period managed to survive that number of years. And it has continued to thrive even today. It's a long history. We had to fight many, many battles after that too. And then we had a Punjab empire of our own, somewhere around the late 18th century until mid 19th century. We had our own empire at its zenith. It extended all the way of modern day Punjab, including Pakistan, and all the way up to Tibet, where their statues are also.
But I just have one last question about the temple, right? I did a previous research on the Sri Narayana mission, which is also in the Sembawang area, Chopang village. And they face a lot of challenges as well when they had to move the two institutions connected to them, right? First is, of course, their office, which was in Chongpang, and also their nursing home, which was in the former naval base. And moving was not easy, right? Moving was very challenging because the whole area was being developed. You need money, you need to find land, and you need to negotiate with the various government agencies, blah, blah, blah. It was a real headache, but they did it, right? Because they believed in what they were doing. So I guess, you know, from the various moves that the Sikh temple had to make, there was a lot of challenges as well, and that this really showed the dedication and the community spirits of the Sikhs in the north.
Yeah, the challenges are tremendous. Yes, I'm well aware of Sri Narayanan and their move to the present day location. And our temple, Sikh temple, really went through a lot of difficulties. Because, first of all, we didn't own the land. Sadly, we are the only temple in Singapore which never owned the land. The other six temples had their own piece of land. They purchased it, they built on it. For whatever reason, it would be unfair for me to say that the earlier guys didn't do a good job, but that is a fact of life. We were sitting on state land. We had just created, actually, when we moved, for example, the Naval Police Force, all expenses were paid by the police. The construction of the temple and so on. Maintenance, running, day-to-day running was done by us. So the police temples, no issue. It was the responsibility of the colonial master. But the Sembawang Sikh Temple, like I told you, our sister temple, which we had amalgamated when the British withdrew, we brought all our barang-barang from the naval base and joined them at Sembawang. Now that temple was not sitting on any own property. And it was a matter of time the government was going to move us because they had plans. We didn't have much money too, because don't forget the naval base area, the Sikhs there are different from the Sikhs in the south. A lot of them who are businessmen and so on. Ours were just day-to-day workers, policemen, given quarters, but wages were not that high. The others were all doing basic, simple jobs. You had about About, I would say about 3 to 5,000 Sikhs in the northern part of Singapore.
Okay.
Yeah, in 1931 census, they said there was about 3,006. So I presume maybe I can add another 1,000 or so.
Yeah.
But anyways, they were not the businessman type. So, though there were one or two who were doing some provincial shops or selling small textiles and other one to cater for the small British, the British sailors. So we didn't have money. And then when we were served notice, all we had was about $300 over dollars. 3,000, 300,000, sorry. $300,000. And the government gave us the plot of land. Fortunately, government was very good, to be fair. They had allocated that piece of land strictly for us, but we had to pay whatever the price, and the price then was not that expensive. It was close to about 400. Paying that 400 was not an issue. I mean, we could raise it immediately. But constructing the temple was a major problem because 2 or 3 story building, whatever we wanted initially, finally we decided on a 2-story building. We required at least $2 million over dollars. And how do you raise $2 million over dollars? First of all, from a crowd of our nature and so on. But the Sikh community is one community when it comes to a religious issue. Money is never short. All they need is to decide we are going to do this. If it's a religious temple, they'll set their own personal differences aside and they will go into collect the funds and so on. So it was difficult. We had a building fund committee headed by another friend of mine. I was also then there as the president. So we got a group together and then we reached out to other Sikhs too. So like I said, when it comes to temple, Sikhs will go all out to support the effort. And we were well assisted by all the others. And don't forget, during that period, 3 Sikh temples were being built. That period of the 90s, we had Silat Road, we've been rebuilt. We had another temple called Khalsa Tarmakswa in Nivan Road, which was being rebuilt, and we had Yishun. So the total cost of the 3 temples was, I think, close to about $12 million, 12 to $15 million. But the whole community got together and helped each other. Remarkable, but nothing unusual. Like I said, Sikhs in a religious situation will come out and give the best, because that's one of the principles of Sikhism, contributing for worthy causes. We have our fair share. We have what we call Daswan, celebrate. Contributing a certain amount of money every month for that kind of purposes. So anyway, in our case, we had to only raise about $2 million. We managed to raise it. A lot of hiccups, a lot of ups and downs during the period.
Right.
But the temple was built. And now 30 years later, we decided to renovate the temple and also to pay for the lease. We have been able to do so.
Could you say something about the Sikh temple in Silat? Because a few of my interviewees have talked about going past the temple, when they go to Silat school, I think it's around the Tanjong Pagar area. And of course, that's where I guess the temple is serving the Sikhs who are employed at the port of Singapore, right?
Yeah. So Silat Road, Silat Road Temple is somewhere in Kampong Baru area, just opposite the SGH, the grounds below. It has also got a unique history, again associated with the policemen. Like I told you, there was the Sikh police contingent that was created in 1881. And Pearl Seal, you have Pearl Seal Lower Barrack, Pearl Seal Upper Barracks. I served there when I was in the army in the early days, when it was then our so-called MID. So those were the living quarters of the Sikhs. And you find both buildings are still there, the upper barracks and the lower barracks. And then you have got a parade square there. So when the Sikhs came, there were about 100 odd Sikhs that came in 1881. they were housed there. It was called the Sepoy Lines. Yeah. Initially, the temple was built around the Sepoy Lines itself. Subsequently, they reorganized and built at Silat Road. So that's the so-called origins of the Silat Road Sikh Temple. Another unique feature of the Sikh Temple is that there is a memorial there. A simple memorial. If you go, there is a temple, and then on its left, if you're looking at it from the entrance area, is a smaller memorial commemorating one famous personality of ours, one by Mejar Singh, who most of us believe was the first Sikh to arrive in Singapore in 1850. Maybe I'll just say a few words about this man. Okay. We were talking of Punjab earlier. So the Punjab Empire existed all the way up to our ruler Maharaj Ranjit Singh, who passed on in 1839. And after that, there was a bit of problem, succession issue. The British took Maharaj Dilip Singh, his younger son, was too young to rule. Brought him to UK together with the Kohinoor, the famous story of the diamond in the Queen's crown. That time, they had the Anglo-Sikh Wars. The Sikhs got defeated. And Bhai Maharaj Singh was a very inspirational leader, a soldier saint, we call him. So he continued to fight against the British even after they had defeated us in the two wars and annexed Punjab. And eventually he was captured and then he was brought over to serve his sentence in Outram Jail. Outram Jail was just opposite the hospital, somewhere opposite the current day mortuary. Outram Jail was located there. So he was housed there, and he died, I think, around 1855 or 1856, after about 5 years. So he was brought along with his close follower, one Gurdwaras. So these are the two individuals who were brought over, full escorted and all that, because he was an inspirational leader and the British wanted him out of the way. So he was brought here, and there are a lot of stories about him. His so-called spiritual nurse and so on. And he was well respected. Even the British, as a prisoner, they treated him as somebody special. Anyway, as he passed on, his a small memorial, he was cremated around the prison grounds, but a small memorial was constructed just outside the current day SGH, Singapore General Hospital. In fact, Block 3, somewhere opposite there was a memorial. I remember as a child going there quite often. And then obviously when General Hospital was being expanded and so on, the government requested that the memorial be moved. It was brought down to Silat Road.
I see.
Yeah, so that's the story of the temple and this particular individual of ours. And it attracts crowds from all over the world, not just Singapore, even from elsewhere, because of the personality of Bhai Maharaj Singh. People believe in him and they come there. Though we don't believe in idol worship, but his association with the temple is important. Yeah.
I see.
So that's the very brief history of Silat Road. And today it continues to thrive, and the government has, I think, gazetted it as a heritage location.